All right, welcome, welcome. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about Mandela Effects, some big ones, but also, how to know when you've maybe shifted your timeline or jumped into a different parallel universe or a different timeline or things like that. What are the clues? What are the keys besides Mandela Effects? I woke up this morning wondering, what's life going to be like after CERN restarted its thing on Tuesday. So today is Wednesday, July 6th, the day after the Hadron Collider's been restarted, and everything seems okay. I mean, things do seem a little more vibrant, but we all, as a family, woke up very happy. Seems like everything's going to be okay, just like, the spirit guides told me the other day. So what do you think is going to happen? I don't know. I know you guys can't necessarily tell the future, but do you have any inkling of what could possibly happen when they open new portholes, new wormholes? Is it going to be like that movie or that series that we watched called Stranger Things? What do you think? Are we going to be okay? Bye for now. Let go of the fear. We've got this, and just keep shining your light type of thing. Back in 2016, 17-ish, that's when I started to notice Mandela effects in my life, and I was trying to explain to people and research it, and it was very new at the time, and everybody thought I was crazy, as usual. And, now in 2022, everybody's talking about it. So it's now becoming mainstream, and everybody's, really learning more about Mandela effects and timeline and quantum physics and all these kind of things, right? So I do think that now we will be noticing, now that the CERN machine's been, restarted, it's going to be that thing again where we're going to be noticing a lot of big Mandela shifts in the years to come. I really want to talk about the cosmos ones, the Milky Way. So in my timeline, we used to be on the arm of Sagittarius in our Milky Way. And now in this timeline, we're way about 80,000 light years away in the Orion area. I'm like, whoa, that is huge, and why would that be, is it because we've totally gone onto a new planet, maybe? Because, some of our geography on Earth already has changed quite drastically. For example, when we look at the old map versus the new map, we see that South America has shifted closer to like the Bahamas, and like we can see that. And it's funny because this one guy posted, when you have to look at board games to know the old map, which is funny because I used to play Risk, and we used to play that a lot, and these Risk games were like Monopoly on steroids. But I don't have a Risk game myself, but if you do, take a look at your Risk game and see if it shows like this, the old way, or if that's changed too. I'm curious to know. But definitely there's that shift in different world geography. Everything, even from, you've probably heard about Statue of Liberty thing, right? She used to be located on Ellis Island, but now she's on Liberty Island and all that. And I'm Canadian, so I don't really know U.S. geography that great, but that's a big Mandela effect for lots of people, is the Statue of Liberty location. So there's some examples of some big ones. Another really big one for me was back in the 80s, Jane Fonda time, and there was Richard Simmons, okay? And what's missing from him here? Oh my gosh, he always wore the headband and the wristbands, especially the headband. That was the big thing. And no, he's never worn that. That's false memory, right? No, that's a Mandela effect. That's a shift in our timeline, because you'll still see costumes of people dressing up like Richard Simmons, and obviously seeing all these costumes. They've got the headband, the wristband, you know. So there's an example there. The point of this video is, how can we tell that we've jumped to maybe a different timeline, and hopefully a better one? Because I like to try and attract a better timeline in my life. So it's always nice to improve and feel joy and love, and increase the vibrational frequency of Earth and its people and myself. And like, I'm into that. But how can we know that we've maybe jumped to a better timeline? What are some clues here? Well, I noticed that when a timeline jump happens, the eyes of my family members are very much more bright. Like right now, the eyes of everybody are super bright. Like my kids, for example, had blue-gray eyes. Now they've turned into crystal blue. And I keep mentioning it. I'm like, wow, your eyes are so like differently, like crystal blue. And even on my oldest son, one of his eyes is different than the other one as it's shifting. Like it's not a complete shift yet, but one eye is darker now and the other one's lighter. It's almost like the darker one's going to catch up to the lighter one. I actually read from or seen a video, I think, from Quantum Businessman, which I really like watching, by the way. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel here. But Quantum Businessman had said that when you're his name's Chris, by the way, when your eyes are brighter and lighter, that means that you've jumped into a more positive version, a positive timeline. Like, it's a good thing. So I thought that was very interesting. Also, you know, you'll notice your relationships are becoming better, more easy, more loving, more joyous. The colors around you are more vibrant. You'll be in awe. Sometimes I wake up and I'm looking and I'm like, wow, the colors are so bright lately. I even mentioned that a few weeks ago to my kids as I was driving them to school. I was like, do you guys notice how, is it just me because we've had a long winter? I don't know what it is, but don't you notice everything's so bright? And they're like, they're just kids. They're like, I don't know. But for me, I was just really like so bright and vibrant and interesting and beautiful. Like, you may notice that. You may notice that your skin is looking younger, or your face is like looking a bit younger, but yet your brain is older and wiser. It's this weird thing. Another thing too that's happening with us is that we all keep hearing certain songs in our head, and lately for all of us it's been the Pink, well, so what, I'm still a rock star. That one by Pink, for example, and everybody has been singing that and hearing it in their head almost as soon as we wake up. And I think that songs, and especially songs that your whole family's thinking about at the same time, that can mean something. Now, what I did too was I chose a marker. I used to choose the Pepsi logo because sometimes it would be red on top, sometimes it would be blue on top, depending on what timeline you're in. So I wanted to do that again, but using a moth. So, you know, spirits. I had a chat with Spirit and we were going to decided to use the moth. So the first moth I saw was right by my front door on this little brick area. And it was this one. It's white with speckles. 3 days later, it changed to this one, orange. And then another 3 days, it changed to this one. And then now today, you know, another 3 days later or whatever, there's no moths at all. And I just found that interesting because, you know, yes, it could be just a different moth. Okay. That's the first analytical thought that one would come. But because I had already previously decided, you know, and sort of talked to Spirit about deciding that the moth would be my marker for this experiment, this test, this marker test, the moth changing to show me that it was a timeline shift. And then during those timeline shifts, there was different synchronicities that happen and coincidences and other markers. So, for example, my friend came over and she had moved way across the country to the other side of Canada recently, but she came down here to visit and to finish up some stuff, and she came over. And as soon as she sat down, this little brown bird came and flew right beside us, very close. And I pointed it out to her. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that cute birdie. Never had a bird come this close like that. And it's like, he likes you, you know. And it was just really cute. And then, you know, about an hour later, we were chatting and still having a little chat. And I said, oh, wow, your tattoos on your arm. I never even noticed you had tattoos on your arm before. Maybe it's because I always seen you with long shirts or something, but I never noticed these tattoos. And then she was showing me some tattoos, and I'm like, oh my God, that bird one. Look at that bird one. That was like exactly the bird that came just now or an hour ago or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I really like birds. And like, to her, it didn't really register or matter. But for me, that was a big thing. I was like, wow, that bird that just flew so close, never flew close like that before, is the bird on your arm, the tattoo. And she's like, yeah, I just like birds. I'm like, okay. So there's something. So synchronicities and weird stuff like that can be a marker, or indicator, I should say, of maybe some kind of shift in your reality. Another thing, too, that I've noticed has been going on with me is that I've been becoming even closer with animals and closer with plants, and now starting to feel plant thoughts and energy, and I can feel when they need water. I can feel when they need attention. And it's like they talk to me, but not like literal conversation, but like thoughts in the head, like thoughts in my mind, and just these nudges like, hey, pay attention to me. I need this. I need that. Plant Wave, this company, has been able to measure the electric frequency and generate it to show music. Like, watch this little clip. And then when they're happy, they just emit this energy of joy and peace and calm and happiness, and it's really healing. And I notice that everybody wants to like sit out here all the time now around the flowers and the plants and everything all around, just being surrounded by the joy energy that the plants are giving. And then of course, you know, I've already had a really close relationship with my dog, an intuitive relationship with our, you know, which many of us do with our animals, but it's been supercharged now. Like now he's like really being vocal. Certain barks and certain sounds he makes mean something. It's like a language now. And then lots of times he'll talk to me through my thoughts and like telepathy, like, and so are my kids too. Like, we're very telepathic now with each other. It's reading each other's thoughts, constant. It's kind of scary sometimes. It's like, whoa, this is getting weird. So it's like a part of it, I think, is us ascending and becoming more of our light selves, and our vibrations are definitely becoming enhanced and improved. The vibrational frequency of our energy field, definitely that's a thing. But I think some of these things too indicate some kind of shift, not only in our vibrational frequency, but in the timeline. And perhaps I think that it's probably one and the same. As you shift your frequency, you're tuning in to new frequencies. And it's like maybe the human body is like an antenna. And as we shift our dial to certain frequencies, that's what we tune into. And I just think it's fascinating. But what are some of the coincidences, synchronicities, stories that you have? Like, and what are your thoughts about the whole Mandela effect? Please post in the comments. I love chatting about that stuff. You know, I used to be really into this back in 2016, 17, 18, but everybody at the time was like, you're weird and crazy for even talking about this stuff. Doesn't even make sense. But now, like I said, in 2022, things are different. People are more open to talking about it. People are noticing their own Mandela effects. People are into it now. So it's fun now because everybody's on board now. And yes, I'm an Aquarius. So you know how they say about Aquarius, you're always 10 years ahead or whatever, futuristic thought and that. So maybe, you know, now's the time where I'm able to like chat about this stuff with people and have really good conversations. So that's exciting. I'm just glad we woke up to a beautiful world again. And, you know, another few things I was just thinking about that's kind of been weird is the moon. Things about the moon have been changing for me. The positioning in the sky at the certain times, because I'm a real big moon watcher because I'm really into like astrology and working with the moon. I have a Cancer moon, like my moon's in Cancer. So it's a special placement there. And I'm really into the moon. You know, I even have my like menstruation on the full moon and all, you know, like all sorts of stuff like that, like really in tune to the moon vibes. And I noticed that the moon looks different, it's changing its positions and all sorts of weird stuff with the moon lately too. I don't know. What have you been noticing in your reality? I want to know. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my mid 40s. So I've seen a lot of the Mandela effects, especially those from the 80s and 90s and that, right? Because that was my kind of time period, right? If you're interested in Mandela effects, I did post some top 10 here. I mean, I could put about the top 100 probably, but I just put top 10. But, you know, I believe some of the Mandela effects I said today could have made that list as well. But let me know. What do you think? Do you like Mandela effects? Do you think it's weird? What's your thoughts? I'm curious to know what, you know, people who watch my videos, what are they thinking here? And so anyways, also, if you're interested in a personal reading, I do readings, video readings online, things like that, to help you in your timeline that you're in right now. Perhaps you need help with a decision. Perhaps you need help with your life path or any question, really. I can help you with literally any question, with the help of spirit, with the help of my own intuition and using your own intuition too. And we can work together to help you jump to a better timeline too. I want to mention too, because I used to study quantum jumping a lot. And I used to get scared because I saw some Reddit stories about people totally jumping timelines and still remembering their old one and then being caught up with a new husband or a new wife or a new this and new that. And so I used to be scared. I'm like, well, I don't want that. I just want to keep my happy stuff that I have in my life right now that I'm really happy with, but I'd like to improve myself or improve something in some way. So little tiny shifts were kind of more my speed. And so now I've come to know that you can intend on making a better timeline for you without drastically changing everything in your life and that, right? You know, like I want to keep my partner. I want to keep my kids. I want to keep my dog. You know, I don't want to lose any of that. And that's what I was afraid of in originally. But now that I'm older, wiser, and time has passed and I've studied a lot of things, I think that we have the ability to shift our timeline a little bit in a good way, a positive way, you know, to create more love, joy, and abundance in our lives and health. You know, wealth is health. Health is wealth. I want to say that that's very important too. And so if you need help with a reading, you know, I can do that, as well as I got to make more, but I do have some orgone energy pyramids still available here, as well as the Power of 8 Chakra Oracle cards, available as well, also as an app. So the Oracle cards are energy healing ones. So they offer you intuitive guidance, but they also offer you energy field healing, as well as affirmations on each card to help you reprogram the mind and reprogram yourself into a better timeline as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed making, quantum intuitive videos. I like to make Mandela Effect stuff. I'm really into all this stuff. So I hope you are too. And I thank you for joining me on this journey. And we will talk to you next time. I'm Trina, your intuitive guide, helping you navigate life's energies. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.